In a previous video, I showed you how you can simply record your iPad screen, whatever you're doing on your iPad, using the built-in iOS screen recording option. It's very simple, very straightforward, but it only allows you to obviously record what's on your iPad. So I've been playing around with how I can record my iPad screen along with either my laptop screen alone, or so I can switch back and forth between them, or I can record both the iPad screen as well as portions of my Mac screen. So this is what I've come up with as a simple way using all built-in apps and functionality, no third-party stuff at all. So this is using Quicktime Player. When you first open Quicktime Player, it comes up with a dialog box. We don't need to open anything, so I'll cancel. And under the File menu in Quicktime Player, there's an option for a new movie recording. And if you select that, it by default comes up with obviously a display, as you can see, which is just from the camera on the computer. But what's nice is if you have an iPad, you hook it up physically. You can do this using AirPlay, but I'm not going to do that. So you can physically hook it up with your lightning cable to your Mac. And then right here next to the record button, there's a little pull down menu, and you can select, rather than the FaceTime HD camera on my display, I can select my iPad. So you'll see the iPad screen come up here, and right now I'm in GoodNotes. You all know that I like GoodNotes because I can highlight things, I can write on it, I can do all kinds of things here. But again, whatever it is that's on your screen, so you can change to other apps. You can, in my case, I spend most of my time in GoodNotes. You can do whatever you want. Okay, so now I have my iPad screen on my Mac, and as you can see, it's being recorded. What I'll show you is a way that you can combine that with, for example, I like to have a little view of me. So if you use your FaceTime application, so here it is, just open up FaceTime. So now again, it's using the camera, but now in a FaceTime context, you can change the size of this window. I'm going to make it as small as possible, and I haven't figured out how to get rid of this pane on the left. So I'll show you what I've been doing with that. So I take my iPad window, I'll make it as big as I can, so it fills as much of the screen as I can. And then I put the FaceTime window right over top of it like this. Pull the iPad in the front, so now I have a little view of myself for the students while I'm using my iPad over here for the remainder of the screen. Okay, now the recording, so that, remember, we used new movie recording to set this up, but to actually do the recording, you just go down a little bit farther in the File menu and select New Screen Recording. It'll come up with this little box down here at the bottom, and the left three selection options here, these are all for capturing the screen, so just taking pictures of the screen. Right next to it would normally be a equivalent set of options for recording portions of the screen. Because I'm recording right now, it just has the stop screen recording button. But normally it would have a set of options just like this, so I can record the entire screen, which is what I'm doing right now, or as you can see here, I've set this up so I can record just a portion of the screen. And you can see I've sized it exactly to encompass my iPad screen as well as my little FaceTime camera. Another important thing to check is under options here, you can tell it where you want it to save to. So you can save it to your desktop, for example. You can tell it how long to wait before you start recording. So I have it set for 5 seconds, so when I hit the record button, it waits so I can get everything ready exactly the way I want it. And then there's some other options down here, show your mouse pointer, and some other things. So make sure that those are set the way you want them to. And then you would click right here to begin the screen recording. The issue is once it's recorded, the way you stop it is there's a little icon up in the menu bar right up here, and you just press that to stop the recording. Once it's stopped, it'll save the movie file where you've selected using the options down here. And then the problem is that the movie file is very, very large. So I recorded a lecture this morning, is about 20 minutes, and the movie file was about 1.8 gigabytes or so. You can make it smaller using iMovie. So if you go to iMovie over here, I'll get rid of this now. So if you go to iMovie, you can pull in your video into iMovie and convert it into an MP4 file if you'd like. That makes it much smaller. You can select different resolutions and so forth. Seems like 720p is a good choice for what I'm doing in terms of balancing the size of the file as well as the resolution of the video itself. And then you can upload it to YouTube or Blackboard or whatever you want to do.